The NDP sure have been mucking up the Alberta education system, haven't they? To the untrained eye, it really might seem like a lot of the changes they're proposing are an amazing thing. They're veiled in feel-goodery with social media campaigns and other advertising. But I see the way the government is treating the public education system as a factory to turn out social justice warriors as a very dangerous and slippery slope that we're heading down here. Let me give you just one distinct example of how these actions will affect our kids' futures. The way things are going, kids just aren't going to be prepared for a future that involves a lot of jobs in science and tech. The NDP seem to want to put more of a focus on activism than tech-important subjects like computer science and math, or what are called the STEM topics. They seem to be making a lot of proposed changes to humanities-oriented programs, but we haven't heard enough about what's in store with STEM subjects. Actually, Minister of Education David Egan is being secretive and not releasing any of the names of the people working on these changes. What's more is that these apparent changes, if any, won't be rolled out until 2020. A draft document released earlier this year for the new social studies curriculum, where students were referred to as agents of change by one curriculum spokesperson, as David Staples at the Edmonton Journal reports, shows that the government isn't really all that concerned with preparing kids for the future. In the article, Staples goes on to outline some of the actual curriculum, citing major concepts in grade 3 focusing on the question, how can we create change? And for grade 4, in what ways have individuals and groups in what is now Canada taken action to effect change? When it comes to math, though, we can already see the negative effects of continuing to practice teaching what's called discovery-based methods that apparently focus on understanding and not memorization or traditional techniques. This all sounds great, right? Math can be a pretty tough subject for any kid, intimidating even. But this kind of math just isn't all that helpful, according to parents and students. Many are complaining that their kids are frustrated and their grades are slipping because math has just become way too confusing for them. And the results speak for themselves. Again, David Staples highlights that math scores in the province have been on a downward trend for years. Here he says that in just 4 years, from 2011 to 15, the percentage of grade 4 students that don't have basic math skills has more than doubled from 6 to 13.2%. Even more telling is that the first Discovery Math program instituted in Canada began in '95, and ever since then in 2015, the percentage of top math students in grade 4 has gone from 9 to 2.4%, according to Trends International Mathematics and Science Study Stats. What's more is that it's difficult for parents to help their kids, and they're having to bring in outside instructors to help out away from the classroom. So the families that can afford the extra help, well, their kids suffer the most. These may seem like short-term effects, but math is one of those builder subjects where if you don't grasp the concepts, you're in really bad shape moving forward. And that's not the only problem. Teaching kids to be agents of change means kids won't be prepared for the job market. These days, technology makes the world go round. So consider these stats from the Information and Communications Technology Council's Labor Market Outlook that projects that 182,000 jobs in information and communications tech will go unfilled at a time when Canadian youth face unemployment rates of around 13%. And the reason behind that is that the number of students graduating with math and science-oriented degrees is very low. In 2010, the Conference Board of Canada found that figure to be sitting at only 21.2%, with the least amount of students enrolled in computer science and engineering programs, and those numbers are also on the decline. When kids aren't exposed to STEM-focused subjects early on, it seems there's less interest as they grow older. Minister Egan has stated that he realizes that math curriculum needs to be revamped, but at the same time, he says he thinks it's a good idea for teachers to have flexibility in teaching methods. And considering his secret curriculum team, can we really trust the NDP to make the changes needed for our kids to succeed? The way I see it is, Instead of setting up kids for success, the government is setting them up for failure, and only because they stand to gain from it. Instead of putting an emphasis on preparing kids for the real world, they want to turn them into little social justice warriors. But there's always an underlying purpose, and in this case, it's to churn out future NDP voters. It's all about ideology for the NDP, and ideology is dangerous. It means tunnel vision. It means not being able to think critically, and dire consequences. We've seen this countless times from the Alberta government at this point. The royalty review, raising corporate taxes, Bill 6, just to name a few examples. All policies that were rammed through under the premise of being for the greater good. Well, look where that's gotten us. For the Rebel.media, I'm Holly Nicholas. Thanks for watching. Internet censors want to stop us. If you believe in freedom, please check out istandwiththerebel.com.